Hey, howdy, and a big welcome back to Clem Hawks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Yak, ready to take you through yet another Saturday afternoon ball game featuring the Toronto Blue Jays here on Clem Hawks this afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. It's that weird kind of way right now where we're sitting about 12:30 Mountain Time. So if you're out on the West Coast, it's 11:30 Pacific time. If you're out on the East Coast, you're talking already 2:30. So that's where we find ourselves this afternoon, is we're already getting things underway, but still waiting for a couple of people around the world to get things going here on the afternoon. So friends, welcome to Clem Hawks. Welcome to today's live stream. And let's do this. I'm just going to throw myself on there so that I have a way to better monitor the comments section. And I gotta make sure the thumbnail is there for sure, and then we should be good to go with today's live stream. It's the Blue Jays, it's the Yankees, a pivotal matchup for the Blue Jays. Obviously, if you're a Twins fan tuning into today's live stream, you know the fact of the matter is we're rooting for the Yankees to lose, but as we saw last night, the Yankees continued their dominant ways. I think they have a total of 16 losses on the season, so it ain't like it's going to be an easy rollover for the Blue Jays to go out there and win today's game against the Yankees. So just go out there, have a good ball game, and have some fun. Of course, if you tune into Clem Hawks, you would know I am a big Blue Jays fan. However, you know what? End of the day, right now, we're just cheering for a good ball game, some content here on Clem Hawks, and a good weekend kicked off by a good ball game all told. So that's where we sit right now. That's where we are looking to get things rolling here on this live stream. Just easy go, easy does it. Get through this pregame show, and then away we go. Caleb Joseph, this is my favorite part. Favorite part of this new Blue Jays broadcast is the fact that they've got Caleb Joseph, not Caleb Jones, Chicago Blackhawks defenseman, Caleb Joseph on the panel for the pre-games now, and he's been doing a solid little job here in the past couple of weeks. So he's now a full-time member by the looks of things. But for the American League ERA leaders, Alek Manoah up there. Number one, 1.67 earned runs against this season. Shane McClanahan, however you say that, 184. Nestor Cortez, 194. And Justin Verlander, 194. So you're talking Manoah's been stellar this season. And so far against the Yankees, a total of 12 innings pitched and an earned run against in 12 innings. 4 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts, and a total of 5 walks in 12 innings. So that whip looks pretty good against the Yankees this season as well if you're Alek Manoah. So for the Blue Jays, obviously you've got your recipe for success if you're looking to get the job done. However, does that hold up? I don't know, based on what the Yankees have been here the past little bit in the MLB. Their run of dominance here against absolutely everybody. It doesn't matter who you are in the MLB. The Blue Jays, Rays, Twins, anyone in the MLB have been suffering against the New York Yankees. They have been absolutely dominant, and obviously the best team in baseball. I think entering last night they had a 750 win percentage, which I'm sorry, in modern day baseball is absolutely unheard of, if even at all in the history of ball. So that's where it gets fun for the Blue Jays today, is you know what, you have a chance to knock off the top cats in the league and maybe cause a little bit of a distraction, but see what happens here with this ball game and see if the Blue Jays can't end up doing something positive against the Yankees. And obviously, right, you're probably expecting the Yankees to be pretty much exactly who they are, who they've been all season long. That's not the worst part. 8-1 through 12 starts, 11 quality starts for Alek Manoah. Literally almost perfect with the quality starts this season. So can't really complain about that at all, is the fact of the matter is. For the Blue Jays, they've got a young stud, but is it enough to get this job done against the Yankees today? That is what we will determine over the next little bit here on Clem Hawks this afternoon. And so Manoah's won 3 straight starts, a .137 ERA, .92 whip, and a 188 opponent's batting average. And that's one thing I've really been keening in on, because you really can tell how the Twins are doing this season based on who's pitching with the how do you say it, with the best opponent's batting average against, and not surrendering any homers. So that's where we're at currently. Is we're just currently in the pregame, waiting for this ball game to get underway, waiting for things to get started, just going through the pregame, reading you some fancy stats and getting everything going. The Blue Jays broadcast is heavily, and I mean heavily, focused on Alek Manoah here this morning. Basically, well, this guy has been one of, if not the best pitchers the Blue Jays have had in a long time. And yeah, Robbie Ray was sensational last year, but Alek Manoah doing things unheard of in a Blue Jays uniform. And Jameson Talon will go to the mound for the Yankees this game. 293 ERA, a 105 whip, and those are pretty decent numbers to begin with yourself, but still not a good comparison to Alek Manoah, who's been absolutely lights out this season. It looks like we're going to have a little bit of an insider panel here and see what we can figure out with this Toronto Blue Jays team here today, because there's a lot to go over, right? I don't get a chance to tune into every Blue Jays game. I'm obviously tuning into everything for the Twins that I can. It's been a tough season trying to keep track with them, but they're second in the division. That's where they are, and they're looking pretty solid. However, Ryu underwent successful Tommy John surgery. His expected recovery is 12 to 18 months, so the Blue Jays are going to be without a guy who at one point was their ace pitcher 2-3 seasons ago. And you know what? Career start record, 21-12 in wins, 4.07 ERA, 263 innings, 7.9 Ks per 9, 2.0 walks per 9, and a WAR of 4.5. So other than just untimely gaffes in terms of pitching, he's been stellar for the Blue Jays, right? You talk about that ERA being down even another point, and all of a sudden he's one of the best Blue Jays pitchers we've had in a while. So that's where it's tough, right? The injuries were taking a toll, and all of a sudden Tommy John surgery required, and that just is what it is at the end of the day for Hyunjin Ryu. Other than that, friends, we are roughly about 30 minutes away from first pitch, so we're starting to track well here early on this afternoon as we're getting closer and closer to first pitch. And I'd like to welcome you to Clem Hawks. Of course, if you're looking for stuff to check out here prior to this ball game getting underway, feel free to go comb through the channel. Go vote on the poll on the community tab, talking about Zach Gallen potentially becoming a Minnesota Twin if he is available. Should the Minnesota Twins pursue Zach Gallen at the trade deadline? That was topic du jour this morning on Clem Hawks. And of course, other than that, we don't really have much else to talk about so far today through what we've discussed on Clem Hawks. Zach Gallen was the big ticket item this morning, trying to get that one through to you guys as early as we possibly could this morning. And yeah, there's not much else really that I can discuss with you pre-game stuff, so let's just quickly flip through and see what we can do. So if this is the end of Lorenzo Cain's major league career, remember Lorenzo Cain was designated for assignment this morning. 1,171 regular season games, 1,220 hits, 336 extra base hits, 190 stolen bases, a 283, 343, 407 slash line, and a top 3 finish for AL MVP, a 2 All-Star appearances, a Gold Glove Award, and a 2015 World Series champion. Not a bad go. Not a bad go at all. And what do we got? What do we got? Do I got anything else I can fill you in on here? I don't think there is. I'd like to definitely say, if anyone's tuning in here, give me 15-20 minutes of the ball game to impress you or not impress you, and then make up your mind on hitting subscribe. Of course, this is something we're trying to work in a little bit more here on Clem Hawks, is the live aspect of the channel. Clem's been very stellar getting up the game reviews as much as possible this season. Obviously, with the late night games, it's tougher when you work and after you've worked a whole week. But right, I've got some time. I'm helping Clem come out and get the job done as much as possible here lately. So yeah, that's just where we where we're sitting right now is just trying to get Clem back into the old good books of YouTube, getting back into the, how do you put it, getting back into the ad revenue kind of side of YouTube if possible, if that's what he wants. That's where we were trying to get him back to, and of course that takes some time, dedication, and help along the way. And of course, if you feel like hanging out with us this afternoon, that goes a long way. Every 6 minutes counts as 0.1 watch hour, and that gets us going quite quickly towards where we need to be, because the goal is on YouTube 4,000 watch hours, and currently Clem halfway to the target, so we got a little ways to go yet. And Fiddle Ford, you're talking about the Jays rule. Well, we're hoping the Jays can come out and rule a little bit today. 37-27 on the season, not doing too bad at all. Although the Yankees 48-16 on the season, absolutely dominant this year. And of course, you saw the result last night. Yeah, a home run from Vladdy wouldn't be bad today. Of course, that would be a pretty stellar thing to see, obviously, every Saturday. If you can see one of the big boys getting a home run, you're not complaining too much at all. But right now, the Yankees over 8.5 runs. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. So there you go. And what do we got going here? They're just talking about the bets for the day. Phillies team total over 5.5 runs plus 110. I don't get any of this. I know a couple of buddies that are messing around with bets 365 stuff. I personally couldn't imagine it, so I just don't bother with it, quite honestly with you. But right now, the Jays, the Yankees, we're now officially 25 minutes to first pitch. And folks, if you got any questions for me in the comments section, let me know. I'd love to answer some and try and get you guys involved with this pregame here. That's the problem with trying to start the stream up early, is as soon as you run halfway through the pregame show on Sportsnet, you're almost out of things to talk about. And I really don't have much to say about the Yankees other than how good they've been this season. So, well, obviously, number one, probably wouldn't like to see Aaron Judge hit a home run today. That'd kind of suck if Aaron Judge hit a home run today and just kind of put the Jays to bed with one swing, which he's done multiple times over the past several years. So it'd be interesting to hopefully not have to worry about that today as well. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you other than hit up the comment section, ask me some questions, and let me know what you're thinking prior to this ball game getting underway here today on Clem Hawks. The lineup, okay, there we go. That's what they're going to start us with. It's Springer, Bichette, Guerrero, Kirk, Hernandez, Tapia, Chapman, Espinal, and Biggio in the lineup for the Jays today. And 9 games versus the Yankees this season. Bo's had perhaps one of his best stretches of ball all season long. 308 batting average, 6 doubles and 2 RBIs, 12 for 39 this season against the New York Yankees is Bo Bichette. So you don't mind seeing that, if at all. And yeah, I don't think there's really much else to be had for the Toronto Blue Jays today against the New York Yankees, other than you just hope that everything you've got going for you goes for you and you win a ball game against the Yankees today, because right, the standings in the AL East are quite an interesting conundrum, and especially in the AL. Actually, when you talk about the Twins, and that's what we do most of the time here on Clem Hawks, is talk about the Twins. But you go standings here, right? Standings, and you go look at the AL wildcard and how that all evolves and how it will evolve over the next little bit here ahead of the All-Star game, ahead of the trade deadline. Is you go here and you look at it, the Yankees, the Astros, and the Twins are your division leaders. The Yankees have 48 wins, Astros have 40 wins, the Minnesota Twins have 37 wins. The Blue Jays are, well, 2 games up in the wild card with a 37-27 record, a .578 win percentage, which is better than the Minnesota Twins in the AL Central. The Guardians have a .550 win percentage at 33-27. And the Tampa Bay Rays skirting up the standings here a little bit lately, but then on a 4-game losing streak as of late. Well, now you've got a situation where they're 547 win percentage. So you're seeing where this is going. In the Boston Red Sox, not too far out of the picture at a .5 games back. So, right, the Blue Jays are technically better than the Twins on win-loss percentage this season. And so far, the Minnesota Twins still hold that division lead, and the Blue Jays are several games back of the New York Yankees. We're talking a total, if you go to the division, how many games back the Blue Jays are of the Yankees. You're talking 11 games back, and they're holding down that second wild card spot steady. This is almost like when you stack up the divisions in MLB The Show 22 and kind of watch it play out. That's kind of what you're seeing with these Toronto Blue Jays and New York Yankees this season, is just that epitome of how much winning can do for you, and winning in bunches, and that's what the Yankees have done. So hopefully the Blue Jays can start winning in bunches a little bit here too, and get the job done against these Yankees today, and see what we can find out the rest of the way home. Currently, folks, we've streamed 16 minutes and we got 51 minutes watched on the stream. You'll hear me talk about that a lot. I've done a lot of YouTube streaming over the course of my life, and let me tell you, the ratio you always want to have as a bare minimum watch time to views, or watch time to time streamed, whatever you want to say, is a 3-to-1 ratio, right? I want to have, for every minute I stream, at least 3 minutes watched, and that's where we're currently above pace right now, so I don't mind that at all. And it's Carpenter, Judge, Rizzo, Torres, Gallo, Kiner, Falefa, and that's pretty much all you have to worry about for this Yankees lineup. I know there's other people. I bet you Higashioka's in the lineup for the Yankees today, because that guy absolutely dominates the Toronto Blue Jays. So we'll be interested to see what he ends up bringing if he's in the lineup today against the Blue Jays. But let's go quickly over to the live tracker and get this ball game set, get underway now. 20 minutes away from first pitch in Toronto today. And it is Alek Manoah versus Jameson Taillon. And for the Blue Jays, right, Vladdy's had 39 RBIs. Judge has 49, and he's on a first place team, leading the first place team. But then again, he also has 25 homers. So, right, like, Vladdy's not had a bad season come on as of late, but you'd like to see Vladdy pick it up. Kirk's got 318 batting average to Judge's 312. So there's a couple of guys in the MLB. I want to say there's about 20 guys batting over 310 and just absolutely raking out there right now. What else do we got here? Garrett Cole's got 91 strikeouts to Kevin Gausman's 80. And Jordan Romano has 16 saves to Clay Holmes's 11 saves. And here's the difference, the stats for the Blue Jays and the Yankees. The Yankees, through all their games this season, through 64 games, are averaging a run per game average of 5. Literally 5 runs a game, guaranteed, is what it seems to be. The Blue Jays are at 4.57. The batting average is 246 for the Yankees. The Blue Jays are batting 258. The home runs, though, the Yankees are absolutely smashing home runs at 101 so far through their games. The Blue Jays only at 79 this season. The Yankees, a 278 earned run average. So yeah, when you only give up 2.8 runs per game and you're scoring 5 runs a game, you're going to win a lot of ball games, right? When that gap is bigger than 2 runs, you're going to win a lot of freaking ball games, and that's what the New York Yankees have been doing this season. And the Blue Jays, their ERA, a team ERA of 3.69 right now, and that's kind of where the Blue Jays find themselves in a little bit of trouble, giving up a lot of runs. You imagine, right? You snap that gap to about 1.2 difference. You only allow 3.37 runs per game, and the Blue Jays are right there with the Yankees more than likely. So that's right there what you're talking about. So, Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame inductees. Got Jeff Francis going in. Interesting enough. There you go. All right, Jeff Francis goes into the Hall. All right, what do we got? Injuries: Zach Britton, Aroldis Chapman, Domingo Germán, Chad Green, Luis Severino, Jonathan Loaizaga, Ben Rortvet. I've never even heard of that guy. And Steven Ridings are the guys that are up and out for the New York Yankees. And then you got the Blue Jays: Vasquez, Ryu, Jansen, Merriweather, Saucedo, and Pearson. Pearson's, yeah, he's had a rough go of it this season. And there we go. We are covered off for another little bit of this pregame. Dwayne Ward, a 2020 inductee, 9 seasons with the Blue Jays, 452 games, 121 saves, franchise record 45 saves in 1993, two-time World Series champion. And he's aged pretty well, actually. Not too bad at all. All right. Seems pretty emotional up there on the stand as well, talking about his career and the induction and what it means to him. But what do we got? We got Toronto Raptor in the stands again today, talking about voting for All-Stars today. And we'll go down as well. One of my all-time favorite athletes to cover, great player, great man, Locaine. Lorenzo Cain could be potentially gone after being DFA'd today from the Milwaukee Brewers. And I don't think there's anything else I need to talk about here with the Blue Jays early on. Just kind of tell you what's going on with these inductions, and want to watch this and try and cover off as much as we possibly can early on here tonight. All right. What did he do? Justin Morneau, 14 seasons in the MLB with the Minnesota Twins, 2006 AL MVP, 2008 Home Run Derby champion, 2014 NL batting title, and 4-time All-Star for Justin Morneau. Quite the career there as well, a guy who accomplished a lot. And we'll have a video up on Clem Hawks here as soon as this game is done. As soon as we get through the first 3 or so innings, we'll head on over and get the video done on Clem Hawks and see if we can't get you some content there with Justin Morneau today. And let me just message Clem. All right, there we go. Let's see if Clem wants to do a video on Justin Morneau, because he would mean more to Clem than me at this point, even though he's a good old Canadian boy. And now Jeff Francis, the longtime pitcher for the Colorado Rockies. They're showing all kinds of video of him carving up the Blue Jays in his limited time playing the Blue Jays in Toronto. And there you go, Jeff Francis, 2002 MLB draft. That's insane. 11 seasons in the MLB. First Canadian pitcher to win a postseason game and start game 1 of a World Series in 2007. 2015 Pan Am Games gold medalist. He is looking pretty stellar himself still nowadays. Looking like he's aged pretty well as well. So there you go. A couple of ball players not looking too bad after years. It's not like hockey players where they get a little pudgy after the fact. They still look like they're pretty well in shape, these guys. So that's not too bad. What do we got? We got not much going on here. And then Pedro Martinez, also an inducted player into the MLB, or the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. And what do we got? All right. And again, folks, if you're just wondering who the pitching matchup for today's ball game is, just trying to get through this Baseball Hall of Fame induction thing here. Jameson Taillon and Alek Manoah are your pitchers for today's ball game. The Blue Jays rolling out Manoah, who's 8-1, .67 ERA, 75.2 innings pitched, and a .91 WHIP with 68 strikeouts on the season. And Pedro Martinez was at the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame today. Don't you like to see that? That's awesome to see him there. And Jameson Taillon, 7-1 record, 2.93 ERA, 672 innings pitched, and a 1.05 walks, hits against innings pitched, and 52 strikeouts on the season for him. So neither pitcher is really going to go out there and strike every single batter they see out. Obviously, yes, Manoah is going to strike out a batter-ish an inning, but that'll be just what it'll be, and hopefully a good result for the Blue Jays today against the Yankees. But we're still waiting this one to get underway. About 10 minutes away from first pitch now, folks, and it's my pleasure to welcome you into Clem Hawks. I'm Yak. Clem is to be determined today, depending on what his schedule looks like and depending on how that game goes tonight, if Clem's going to be able to get a game review up as long as it finishes before midnight Central Time. Because let me tell you, that's rough, man. Right? It's bad enough being out here Mountain Time, but when a game goes on the West Coast that late, you have got to be hating it, and that's for sure. So we'll see what happens here. Anyway, what else do we have to say, folks? It's been a little bit of a journey here this past couple of months on Clem Hawks, getting back into the baseball, getting back into the Twins talks and stuff. And if you're just tuning in, I'd like to direct your attention over to the chat section, whatever you want to call it, where I want to point you in the direction of, if I can find it here, hold on, I had it a second ago. You'd think I'd be prepared, but a guy like me is never prepared. Let me point you in the direction of the video I did this morning for Clem here, talking about the Minnesota Twins trading for Zach Gallen, should he be available from the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is the point in case here. Zach Gallen's had a pretty stellar year and would be a great addition to the Minnesota Twins if that were the case. But we're currently waiting for this ball game to get underway, so you might as well go check out that Zach Gallen video and let me know what you're thinking with the Minnesota Twins acquiring Zach Gallen. And of course, that is step one of where we're going with trade deadline coverage, right? His trade deadline is coming up July 31st. We're a month and a half away. We're officially a month away from the All-Star game. And the Blue Jays and the Twins both have some stuff to improve on. I think for both teams, pitching would be a big improvement if they could get some guys in there to get the job done. And that's where we currently sit right now, is for both teams, if you could add up the pitching a little bit better, you'd be a lot better off and winning a couple more ball games. So that's my little rant there. Pitching wins ball games. Quite honestly, it does. We know that. Other than that, friends, I can tell you we are now less than 10 minutes away from first pitch. That's an exciting moment because we are close to getting there and getting this ball game on with today, and then running off with what will be a great day of ball. And then Stanley Cup playoffs, the finals are on tonight if anyone's interested in that. And then of course the Twins play at 8 p.m. against, well, 8 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. Central against the Arizona Diamondbacks, who got the upper hand on them 7-2 last night. And that was, I appreciate everybody being along for that stream last night. That was a blast to have everybody along for that one. So let's hopefully run it back and see if we can't do it again tonight, and hopefully have ourselves a great time. And like I said, hopefully everything we're doing here today encourages Clem to come out and get us a game review up and discuss all about those Minnesota Twins for the first time this weekend. And looks like the stream is picking up a little traction here. That's not a bad thing to see at all. I will keep an eye on the chat here, as I just saw my own chat message on the Clem Hawks channel come up here. But friends, right now, just on commercial break, we'll have the last couple of things left over once the clock flips to the top of the hour broadcast, right? It's 1 o'clock now. The broadcast will flip after this commercial, and then we will be ready to watch Blue Jays versus Yankees coverage here on Clem Hawks in just a little bit. I guess right now, if anyone, there's 80 of you watching. This is the most people I've had watching the Blue Jays stream here on Clem Hawks in a while. If anyone wants to let me know what they're predicting for score, who scores first, who gets the job done, whatever you want to say tonight, this afternoon, let me know. Be appreciated to have you along for this ball game, and of course to have something riding on it a little bit, right? Even a final score prediction. I'm not a guy who puts money down, but just trying to guess what that final score is going to be is always a fun time. So if anyone wants to throw that out in the comments, and of course don't be a homer about it, but have a little bit of fun. Let's get realistic and see what these ball teams can produce today here on Clem Hawks. It's Alek Manoah versus Jameson Taillon going to the mound for the Yankees. Two guys that have been having pretty good years, right? Taillon seems like he's much worse than Manoah, but he's still having, by everybody's standards in the MLB, a pretty solid season, that is for sure. So here we go, everything. They're getting the Blue Jays intro up and running here today, and we will be rocking, we will be rolling in just a few moments' time here on Clem Hawks. It's the Yankees, it's the Blue Jays. 107 first pitch is scheduled for the Yankees. 48-16 to start this season. The Blue Jays 37-27 and solidly better winning percentage than the Minnesota Twins. And here's Dan Schulman coming in with Pat Tabler in the broadcast booth today, and it'll be Alek Manoah going to the mound for the Blue Jays, and they have talked all about him today. That has been the main focus for this Blue Jays broadcast, is just this special young man, what he's been doing for the Blue Jays fans and team this season. 2 starts versus New York this season, 14 Ks and 12 innings pitched, 1 earned run and a 103 opponent's batting average. So you got to imagine how much that translates to, right? Just over 1 out of every 10 batters is getting on base with a hit against Alek Manoah, and you like to see that a lot if you're a Blue Jays fan. And of course for the Yankees fans might be a little more nervous facing the Blue Jays today than they were yesterday, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not trying to make fun of Yankees fans for being nervous to face Alek Manoah. I'm just saying, you know what, the Blue Jays do have their great guy on the mound, so you know what, yeah, put a little fear in your opponent's eyes and hopefully take advantage and capitalize on it. That's what I'm saying. Folks, if you're ready for this ball game and you're looking for more of these kind of broadcasts and stuff like this, feel free to tune in anytime. You can hit the subscribe button if you want and stick around, but right now we are on our last commercial break before the ball game begins. Tomorrow the Blue Jays will be live at 11:07 first pitch, so maybe we'll run it back and double back for a ball game tomorrow as well. Be nice if we could ever get the Twins on TV in Canada. If we could get the Twins on TV in Canada, that'd be pretty stellar to have, because then we could be really rocking and rolling Twins coverage here for you on Clem Hawks, especially with me being able to watch, but that's no big deal. We're not too worried about that. And thank you to the 2 people that tuned into the Zach Gallen trade target video because of me posting the link in the chat section there. Really appreciate that. That's what if you know anything about me on YouTube, is that's one thing I really love to do during live streams, is try and share that extra stuff that we've done in a day and try and get that out to you as well. So as you kind of know, there's more to the channel than just what you're seeing in the live stream and what you're seeing there overall. So thank you to everybody that tuned into that. And let's get on with this ball game. 104 now. And we are just about ready to get this thing rocking and rolling. 107 first pitch, like I said. And of course, we will get the score bug up as soon as it's ready to go, because it's still got the incorrect records. And we'll see what that results in for us as Blue Jays and Yankees fans this afternoon, and Twins fans, right? The Twins have quite a partial thing in here. All right, if the Blue Jays are technically better, and if the Yankees are class of the league, well, you know what, as Twins fans, you'd like to watch both of them go out there and duel, and maybe hopefully start turning their seasons around a little bit, so as the Twins can start winning more ball games too. All right, so let me just quickly grab the live tracker here and get this score bug going for us this afternoon, and we should be rocking and rolling. And of course, I had the Blue Jays, or sorry, the Oilers score bug up there last time. So now we should have the score bug for the Yankees and the Blue Jays. And there you go. You see it loading in there, and perfect. We should be rocking. We should be rolling with the score bug there now, and we're ready to go. Awesome. So we are ready for this ball game now, officially 100%. We are 2 minutes away. They're running lots of commercials here. Of course they are, because that's just what they do. And it is endless commercial after endless commercial on Sportsnet before a ball game or a hockey game. So now we're waiting just for this one to finish up the commercials and get back underway with everything we need to know before first pitch. And somehow, some way, they're still running more commercials. Yay. That is brutal, my friends, but that's okay. We'll battle through and we'll be all right. And 21 times times 8.25 times 21, 173 hours or minutes, 2.88 hours watched, folks. We are rocking it today. 2.88 divided by 0.06. That is not bad at all, I must say. We're doing quite all right today. So we're 36 minutes in the live stream. I'd like to thank everybody for being along for the ride today, and let's do it. You ready to do it? Let's do it. First pitch coming up now. Saturday afternoon ball game on Clemhawks. I'm Yak, folks. Thank you for being along. Like I said, Dan Schulman, Pat Tabler have your call on Sportsnet TV today. And it's the Blue Jays and the Yankees. Alek Manoah will start things off, throwing the first pitch of the ball game to the leadoff hitter, Matt Carpenter, who has been absolutely stellar since the Yankees acquired him. And here comes Manoah out to the infield, and he is ready to rock and roll and throw from the mound and get these Blue Jays fired up with hopefully what will be a 3-up, 3-down inning. And of course, if it's anything like that Twins game yesterday, the guys batting in the top half will definitely be 3-up, 3-down. Twins, after the third inning, only got 2 more batters above minimum up to the plate the rest of the way home in 6 innings. That was kind of an embarrassing stat. And Anthony Rizzo, his last 14 games, a .291 batting average, 6 home runs and 18 RBIs, leading the AL currently on that streak. So he's been having a good time all around. And Alek Manoah is now ready to get to the mound. 1.67 ERA on the season, 201 opponent's batting average, 75 innings pitched, 68 strikeouts, and 14 walks on the season. Not a bad go. A whip of .91, my friends, and we are off and ready for this ball game to get underway. But still, haven't seen things switch the clock, so they have now missed first pitch by just a little bit there, and we are ready for Manoah now, who is looking amped up and ready to go. The Blue Jays will line up in the outfield. Tapia, Springer, Hernandez, Chapman, Bichette, Espinal, Biggio, Kirk behind the plate, and of course Guerrero Jr. DHing this afternoon, taking a day off and enjoying the dugout shenanigans that he so often gets into when he is DHing for the Toronto Blue Jays. You would remember quite a famous video last year for the Blue Jays. So, my friends, we are rocking, we are ready to roll for this ball game, and here we go. First pitch, Alek Manoah, the Rogers Center comes alive with a roar of excitement, and here we are. Alek Manoah against Matt Carpenter to start this ball game. Carpenter's got the glasses on, and here is first pitch. It is going to be a ball outside, wide of the zone for ball number 1. There you go. Off and running, a 1-0 count to Matt Carpenter, who has a .286 average, 6 home runs, and 13 RBIs on the season. .416 on-base percentage, swings and misses for the first strike of the ball game. A 1-1 count now to Carpenter. Manoah 2 pitches in, even split. And Carpenter looking to try and get it going. He doesn't even have batting gloves on. Interesting go. I didn't know that Carpenter doesn't wear batting gloves. A guy like him that gets on base as much as he does, I wonder if you wouldn't, but all right. Sure. Manoah will fire up and get the swing and a miss on Carpenter again. So it's a 1-2 count very quickly here to begin this ball game. Manoah's 4 career starts versus the New York Yankees, a .52 ERA and a .98 WHIP. This guy has been something special since he joined the MLB with the Blue Jays a couple seasons ago. And now he's going to line up and get in there to throw yet another pitch here. And he will line up and get Carpenter to pop it up and out of play. And if you were playing in my softball league, you'd be up and out of the game with a strikeout right there. However, he fouls it back for a second chance to try and hit this ball. 6 of 8 hits this season have been home runs. What? Carpenter only has 6 hits this season? Sure. All right, game on. I thought he's been doing a lot more batting than that. I think something's misleading there. However, this one's going to be inside, and Carpenter's going to rope it into right, and it will be caught out there by Espinal, who will make the play. And I don't know why Espinal's out in right field. I thought Hernandez is out in right field. He's going to jog back into the infield. All right, Blue Jays going with some extreme shifting against Matt Carpenter and the MLB OPS leaders this season. Getting it going. What are the Red Jays jerseys for? I think that is their new Saturday jersey at home, to be quite honest with you. I think that's become the new Saturday tradition jersey, just something they're wearing more often. And Aaron Judge with a 1059 OPS. He's going to see this one thrown in there, 94 miles an hour at the knees for strike number 1 from Alek Manoah, 312. Average for Judge, 25 home runs, 49 RBIs, a 388 on-base percentage, and that OPS that we talked about, big and monstrous. And now he's going to see this one fouled off. Judge gets it up and high and tight, but can't do much with it. Fouls it back into the stands, and now an 0-2 count with 1 out here in the top half of the first. And I think based on what I'm seeing, Judge with a 312 average, I don't think he's striking out near as much as he used to, and I think that's good news if you're a Yankees fan. He barely fits in the batting box, quite honestly. And that one comes in, and he will go around. So there you go. I'm talking about not striking out near as often as he used to, and there you go, right out of the gate. And that, my friends, is a strikeout of Aaron Judge. And you've quickly got 2 outs in this top half of the first inning for Alek Manoah, who just eats up Aaron Judge on a tight inside swing. And that one just kept bleeding inside, and Aaron Judge did everything he could to hold back. And that's a beautiful look from high atop home plate right there. But Aaron Judge just gets tied up in knots on that one, and that's fine. That'll tend to happen once in a while when you're batting. And quite honestly, I can't claim any better for myself. This one high and upstairs for ball 1 to Anthony Rizzo. So the Blue Jays right out of the gate here, firing from Alek Manoah, going 9 pitches so far for 2 outs and a ball to the third batter of the inning. 17 homers and 47 RBIs on the season for Anthony Rizzo, who's had just as good of a season almost as Aaron Judge, quite honestly, and especially when you consider his hot streak here in the past couple of weeks. So Manoah stepping up to throw another pitch here in this 2-0 count. Rizzo apparently loves to crowd the plate. He is pretty tight to the side of the box there. And he's going to throw. Whoa! That was one heck of a pitch. The bottom just fell out and it disappeared to the other side of the plate right there as Manoah threw that one in there. That was a beauty of a pitch, that is for sure. And I love that they got this high atop angle at home plate. This is a gorgeous angle. And now Manoah's going to work with this 2-1 count. Rizzo's going to line it, and that will go right into right field. And so Espinal's back there in right field, and he will throw it in. And that will be the first base runner of the ball game for the New York Yankees. Rizzo with a beautiful just inside turn on the ball to hammer it into the pole field. And you got Biggio there at first base talking to him all about that hit. And with 2 outs in the top half of the first inning, you've got Gleyber Torres coming up to the plate. He's had 12 home runs, 29 RBIs on the season, and that will be strike number 1 to Torres. 0-1 count with 2 out, and Rizzo at first base to begin this ball game. Torres there with a 327 average in his last 14 games, 4 home runs and 7 RBIs, and that one will not be called a ball. That was excellent framing there from Kirk, but he just couldn't fight it enough to get the job done. That's all right. Not going to worry too much about that. That was a great framing job from Kirk, and it just almost got the job done. And now, 1-1 count, big time slider, wipeout slider, goes all the way out of the zone. So Manoah will see himself reset with 2-1 count here to Torres, who's batting .254 on the season, and finds, like I said, Rizzo at first base, awaiting him to do something here in this at bat. And this one, Manoah will fire up and on the black for a strike. 2-2 the count, 2 outs in this first inning. So you know what, Manoah, he's had to work, but in 17 pitches to open the ball game, you know what, you get the arm loose early on, and then maybe start chopping down the pitches per inning here a little bit more as you go and make a magical day. Obviously, no hitter to be had. The best you can do is a shutout, but look at that. Throws that ball right by Torres with the runner going, and that will be 2 strikeouts in an inning to open the ball game for Alek Manoah here this afternoon on Clem Hawks, folks. And that's all right. Ain't complaining about that at all. It's been a good start to the ball game, that's for sure. So let me just quickly do some math again today and just calculate out what we're sitting at here. 37 times 6.1, that's 225. And let's talk sports. What's going on? Not too much, my friend. Just rocking and rolling this first inning, and so far Manoah has come out and done the job. Right? That's what you like to see from your starter, is a quick inning. Yeah, even if you give up a base hit, it's not worst case scenario, and you just come back and rebound and get the next batter, and that's exactly what Alek Manoah did against Gleyber Torres. So a solid start to this one tonight, that's for sure. This afternoon, whatever, I'm going to mess that up, always mess that up. And currently 3.76 hours streamed on this stream so far, folks. So thank you for being along for the ride. That really helps, right? When you talk about 4 hours watched on the stream, you're talking about essentially 2% of what Clem needs, or 0.2% of what Clem needs to get going with monetization here on YouTube again. So I appreciate everybody's help along with this live stream today, and hopefully we can continue to crush it here today as things go along. And of course, as you see, I've seen now 2 more people go and check out the Zach Gallen video. That is linked in the comments section. That is discussing Zach Gallen as a member of the Minnesota Twins, should he be available for trade. And Bo Bichette really seems like the feature player for the Blue Jays today. He's been batting well against the Yankees this season, and he's 7 for 16 career against the New York Yankees starter, Jameson Taillon. Taillon's coming in with a 2.93 ERA in 12 starts this season, and he will start against Springer, who will take strike number 1 at the knees. Looked like it was a little off the plate. Never mind, it's all good. And now an 0-1 count here in the bottom half of the first inning will begin this ball game a different way, and that will be now a 1-1 count. So it begins the exact same way, just reversed from how Manoah began this ball game for the Blue Jays in the top half of the first inning. And George Springer, batting .266 with 12 home runs, now takes a 2-1 count. And we'll see, hopefully, Taillon work a little bit more than Manoah did, right? Manoah's pretty happy with his performance by the looks of it in that first inning. And now all of a sudden Taillon throws this ball for ball 3. So George Springer, you know what? He's been scuffling 0 for like 13 in his last 13 at-bats. You'd like to see him just pick up and take a walk here and just see some pitches, just see how they feel coming in. And instead, Springer looks like he's ready to hit, and he will instead, my friends, take one inside for ball 4 and walk down to first base. So for the Blue Jays, they're doing better than the Yankees to start this ball game, but you got to remember last night they were up 1-0 before things fell off and fell apart pretty quickly. So for the Yankees, they'll see the first base runner of the game reach. George Springer walks to first, and that is how we begin this bottom half of the first inning between the Blue Jays and Yankees. Oh, here we go. Bo Bichette, the man of the hour, hopefully steps up to the plate. 260 batting average, and they're going to run over to Springer with a pickoff move, who was definitely moving. He scrambled back a little awkwardly, so it would be interesting to see if he is indeed in motion or that was just a design play to get them thinking there for a few moments. Taillon sets up, and Bichette will get ready and take strike number one on the outside bottom corner. And that's where we're sitting. Right now, 260 batting average, 10 homers, 33 RBIs for Bo Bichette this season. And Taillon will come up to the plate with the second pitch of the at-bat, and it will be Bichette grounding into a double play right there for 2 outs. That's a tough go if you're Bo Bichette. That was not a pretty swing, and it results in a double play that allowed the Yankees to get this inning going along, zipping along quite quickly. Carpenter, Kiner-Falefa, Torres, and Rizzo make up the infield. Gallo, Hicks, and Gonzalez out in the outfield. Trevino behind the plate for the Yankees today. So hopefully, if you're the Toronto Blue Jays, that bodes well, because man, does Higashioka eat you alive if you are the Toronto Blue Jays. I've watched it for 3 years now. It's been ridiculous all the way back to 2020. And now Guerrero steps into the plate. Obviously, somebody did comment that they're looking for a Guerrero homer today. So batting 267, Guerrero's looking to deliver on that, hopefully right here. And he's going to step up and take ball one, and now swing at strike number one, a foul ball, and he just came exploding through the zone but wasn't fully prepared to make that pitch his pitch. And 267 batting average, 16 home runs, and a 39 RBIs on the season, 856 OPS for Vladdy Guerrero Jr. And there is a lot of wind in Toronto today, though. His World Series banners are all kinds of messed up. And this one's in the air big time, but a fly ball to Gonzalez to end the inning in right field for the Toronto Blue Jays. And they go down just as quietly, if not more so, than the New York Yankees in that first inning. All right, so apparently the Tragically Hip have another live album coming out. All right, game on. Well, my friends, what else can I tell you about things here? To those folks that have checked out the Zach Gallen videos, thank you so much. If you haven't so far, cue that up for whenever you're ready to leave the stream. Go check that out. Talking about Zach Gallen going to the Minnesota Twins potentially at some point this season, should he be available. And other than that, there's really not much to tell you here on Clemhawks this morning, as we're just rocking and rolling through this first inning of the season, or first inning of the game, season. I don't know where I'm. Saturday morning, I just basically rolled out of bed and started doing YouTube, so that's fair. Other than that, Gallo, Kiner-Falefa, and Hicks due up for the Yankees here in this top half of the second inning. We'll see what ends up happening here for the Yankees, who already have a hit in this game. They did all right to start things off, and now we'll see what happens here as we go along. As Manoah is getting all the spotlight in this game against the Yankees. He's obviously his memorable debut at New York at Yankee Stadium. That was one of, if not one of the craziest debuts for a Blue Jays pitcher in recent memory. And they were talking about his mom now, about starring in that game. And Alek Manoah, like, that's back in those days, but Alek Manoah, he had a special debut, that's for sure. You cannot argue that. And now Manoah will step up to start this top half of the second inning, a full-time, bona fide major leaguer now. And you've got second base playing a four-man outfield. The Yankees are getting the four-man outfield shift. Second base is in right field. What is this, slow pitch? Geesh. And it is Joey Gallo out there, though. That would explain it. He's got a 191 batting average, 9 home runs, and 18 RBIs this season. The man that can absolutely destroy baseballs if he gets a hold of them. That one will be inside against Gallo, and he will hold up for a 2-0 count now in his favor. 38.7 strikeout rate, 5th highest in the MLB. That is ridiculous. There's guys striking out plus 40% every at bat, and this one's going to be popped up by Gallo. Long run for Chapman. He's going to be over into foul territory, and he will glove it down for the first out of the second inning for the Toronto Blue Jays. And right there, you're off and running now if you're the Blue Jays. 1 out, and so far so good for Alek Manoah, who's been getting out after out after out to start this ball game. And oh, by the way, if you go over to Alek Manoah's ERA on the season, it should be nice and dandy now, down to $1.64 from $1.67 to begin the ball game. Manoah fires one in straight down the pipe to start this ball game. The 6th batter for the Yankees? Yeah, this should be the 6th batter for the Yankees. 0-1 count to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who still doesn't have a home run this season. And he's going to see this one popped up and out of play for an 0-2 count. Manoah's already got 2 strikeouts in this ball game as well, so that's another thing to be on the watch out for. Manoah is starting to grind out some good pitches and throwing some stuff by some guys this game, so hopefully watch him go out there and do it all game long. Manoah's going to fire this one. Kiner-Falefa is going to ground it to Chapman, who's been busy this inning. Gets the second out on the put-out assist, and that will be 2 outs quickly here in the top half of the second inning for Alek Manoah. Through 6 batters, 1 hit allowed. Not a bad go if you're Manoah at all. And obviously that ERA again climbs down even further from $1.64 probably down to $1.63. And you're loving to see that if you're the Toronto Blue Jays. The ERA leader in the AL continues to see his ERA go down, down, down. Every single batter he gets out and doesn't give up another run. So now it's Aaron Hicks to the plate for the Yankees here. .224 batting average, 2 outs in the top half of the second inning. And Hicks is going to ground it right over to second base. Nice play by Biggio to realize that he had to leave that ball alone. And that will do it in the top half of the second inning for the New York Yankees. 1 hit in this ball game through an inning and a half. And it's the Yankees who have it. But there's also a walk for the Blue Jays. And yes, sirree, Alek Manoah down to $1.62 ERA. You love seeing that. I love seeing some pitchers go out there and dominate, especially for my team, right? That always feels really good. So now, we're liking it. All right, here we go. What do we got? What do we got? Not much. This stream, rocking and rolling. Folks, thank you for being along. If you're new to Clemhawks, I encourage you to stick around and consider subscribing. I'd appreciate that full-heartedly if you did. And of course, if you haven't already, go check out that Zach Gallen linked video in the chat here. Of course, that was our piece of work this morning discussing all things Minnesota Twins trade possibilities when it comes to Zach Gallen from the Arizona Diamondbacks, who will be on the bench this evening for the Diamondbacks against the Minnesota Twins. All right. That's about it. I think I've got that covered off. We're currently at 4.75 hours streamed, or hours watched on this stream. Sorry, I keep messing that up as we go along. But I really appreciate everybody being along for the ride today and getting Clem back in the good books with YouTube, and hopefully back to where he used to be back in the day doing YouTube. So hopefully that continues to be the trend today, as today becomes a positive day. Yesterday, 19 hours and a half watched on Clemhawks, so not a bad day at all on 416 views. And now today, pacing out pretty well as well, 52 views on the live stream so far. So folks, thank you again for tuning in. Can't say that enough. Want to make sure I at least sound like I'm staying humble. And Jameson Taillon down to a 2.88 ERA on the season, as well as he sees Alejandro Kirk draw in for the Toronto Blue Jays here in the bottom half of the second inning. The first pitch to Kirk is down low for ball 1 of the count, and that will mean Kirk batting a .318 batting average, 400 on base percentage, and 6 home runs, 22 RBIs on the season, has the upper hand to begin this at bat against Jameson Taillon and the New York Yankees in the bottom half of the second inning. It'll be thrown in there a wild curveball for strike number 1 from Taillon. So now Kirk in an even loaded count here, getting things rolling early on in this ball game. And Taillon will throw another one there just at the knees, which will again, indeed, a slider, get the strike over for the Yankees. A 1-2 count now to Kirk, who's been phenomenal. Kirk has been one of, if not the best Blue Jays all season long in the box. And now all of a sudden he will swing right through the 80-mile-an-hour curveball from Taillon. And that is Taillon's first strikeout of the game. Bottom half of the second inning, 1 out here. Man, Taillon has what, 6-7 pitches? That's insane. Who can work that many pitches? Here we go, Taillon is gonna throw to Hernandez now. It'll be ball 1 with 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. 247, batting average for Hernandez, 5 home runs and 21 RBIs. I saw the 5 and got a little excited to start talking about it. And Hernandez quickly in a 1-1 count after he swings through a high fastball. 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. This game zipping along, right? First pitch was 107, and we are already through several batters here in the bottom half of the second inning, and it's only 1:31 Mountain Standard Time. That is strike number 2. The Blue Jays have no answer here early on for that curveball from Jameson Taillon, right? Kirk struck out on it, and now he's using it to get ahead of Hernandez, which you like to see. If you're attacking the zone, hey, you know what? You're either going to come up the victor or you're going to get beat around. And so far, so good for Taillon, who's, yes, he's walked one guy, but hasn't surrendered a hit. And that's the one thing Manoah hasn't done well yet, is keep the no-no intact. And right now, Taillon looking to keep his rolling along here for sure. And it will be Hernandez roping it into left field, down on the ground. Gallo snatches it, but it's down for a base hit, as it was one of those that Hernandez had last night that goes down before it gets in the glove. And just like that, the curse works right on. I was talking about it, and he was attacking the zone. There was the curveball, and Hernandez just power swings it through into the outfield, and Gallo enough to get the glove down so that it doesn't get past him. He was trying everything he could, tucks into the slide so he doesn't eat the ball in the face. And that, my friends, is the first base hit of the ball game for the Toronto Blue Jays, who will see Raimel Tapia come up to the dish now, looking for a base hit himself. This one thrown up and into Tapia. So ball 1 on the 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Obviously not much intent there trying to hit him or anything, but that's just one of those up and in, and you just keep watching it ride in. Tapia, 2 homers, 17 RBIs on the season so far. He's had a couple of big hits for the Blue Jays earlier in the season. And now a pickoff move to Hernandez at first base. He gets back in time. The Blue Jays rocking and rolling here early in this inning now. Tapia will work this 1-0 count. And that one will be wide of the zone. So a 2-0 count to Raimel Tapia now. Taillon maybe struggling a little bit here more than he did last inning now. 21 pitches in this ball game. So obviously, yes, Manoah has quite several more, but we are only through a batter and a batter on in this bottom half of the second inning. The Jays looking to make him work, and Tapia is going to just slap this one. Just literally turn on a very inside pitch, but slap it through and get it into the right field on the pole. And that, my friends, will be a base hit with a runner at first and third for the Toronto Blue Jays now. You like to see those results, that is for sure. That's a heck of a swing from Tapia to just do as much as he could with it, but at the same rate, just get a result out of it. And that's the big part, get a result. And he does. He just loops it over the infield's head. The outfield shifted a little bit to the left, and he is able to get it down, and Teoscar Hernandez advances all the way to third on the play. Of course, yes, the Blue Jays could have been in business last inning had Bichette, the man of the hour, who's been pumped up quite a bit in this game early on, if he would have done something instead of hit a double play. Chapman now coming up to the dish, batting .223 on the season. He will get a chance to hit here with a runner in scoring position. That one goes in there, the looping curveball again for strike one against Chapman, who has 9 home runs and 27 RBIs on the season, a .306 on-base percentage, and a .709 OPS. So Chapman's not been the best he could be, but he's not been the worst he could be either. And now it'll be a chance here for the Yankees, who will fire in, and as well, that'll be Taillon throwing ball one of this count. And that's where we currently sit now, and I've got to shut off the stream on my phone now because I'm in the red on the battery life. Guy's got to remember to charge his phone late at night. And Taillon now in a 1-1 count will throw the looping curveball again, try and get me over for strike two like he did earlier on. Doesn't work out this time, unfortunately, and that will mean we're in a 2-1 count with Matt Chapman at the dish here. 2-1 count, 1 out, runners on the corners. And Taillon on the ropes a little bit here. 25 pitches so far in this ball game, and Chapman's going to hit this one a mile high. And unfortunately, we're not in Colorado, so it stays in the infield, and will be out number 2 for the Blue Jays here. That was a result, again, similar to that Bo Bichette one that you just really don't want in that situation. And unfortunately, that's the result you end up with either way. And there you go, is what it is. Folks, we're coming up towards the end of the second inning, potentially, if the Blue Jays can't get something going with Espinal at the dish here. So what I want to say is, if you want to check out our game review from last night between the Twins and Diamondbacks. Of course, this is a primary Minnesota Twins channel. However, Clem allows me to stream the Blue Jays once in a while to allow me to have a little bit of fun with things. If you want to check that out, I will link that game review here after this next pitch to Espinal. Espinal will swing and miss a 94-mile-an-hour fastball for strike one. But Twins D-backs review from last night, right here, linked in the chat. If you find folks in the chat want to go out there and check that out between innings, that'd be greatly appreciated. We've had a pretty successful stream here, and that is compounded with the fact that you guys have been checking out the videos that I have linked in the chat so far. So here we go. Let's rock, let's roll. Pitch coming to Espinal. He's going to swing and miss 95 mile an hour now. So yeah, you know what? Taillon's getting a little bit loose now. 0-2 count to Espinal. 28 pitches so far for Taillon, so he's going to have a chance to break even at 14.5 pitches per inning to start this ballgame. Not a bad efficiency rating. Obviously, the Blue Jays did a better job chewing up pitches this inning than last. And now runners on the corners, 0-2 count, and it will be strike three called to Santiago Espinal, and he knew it as soon as he walked away. Yeah, he is not pleased with it, but he knew it. And folks, I'm going to take a second and go grab some more water, grab something to bite on, and of course, grab something to just tide me over here before lunch. So thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back with inning number 3. Where did I lose my pom-pom? Uh-oh, lost it. Okay, well, we'll be back anyway. So Manoah is 17-3 in his career so far to start his first 32 games with the Blue Jays, and they were comparing him against Dave Stieb and, of course, Roy Halladay, the best Blue Jays pitchers of all time. And even those guys don't stack up against Alek Manoah and what he's done for the Toronto Blue Jays to begin his career. 0-1 count now to Trevino, and that will be, oh, wow. Kirk cannot believe he did not get the call there. That was a wicked pitch from Manoah, and it does not get the call. Jose Trevino, last 11 games, .419 batting average, 3 homers and 8 RBIs. Hopefully what will be his best stretch of ball this season. So the Jays have a little bit of chance not to catch his smoke later on this year. All right. So here we go. Pitch in there. 2-2 count now to Trevino. And I guess Trevino is what they call a classic backup catcher. All right, game on, sure. I mean, I don't know if any team has a classic backup catcher, but a guy that really shouldn't be in the majors but somehow is because he just does a couple of things right. Sure. As Manoah will fire this one, looking for the strikeout on the high fastball again. Just couldn't bite it. And Rizzo's playing the drums on the BioSteel jug. That's funny. And here we go. Let's see what we got going here. Looks like Rizzo's got the back heaters going, trying to loosen up the back a little bit. Trevino will swing and miss, and Manoah's got yet another strikeout there. Oh yeah, baby, that slider working good today. You gotta like that. That was a beautiful pitch there from Manoah to get the strikeout, and it just loops in there, and good night, Trevino. That was a deadly pitch there. And what a throw from Manoah. What a frame up. Good setup by Kirk. Good call by Kirk to get the job done. And you like to see that a lot, that's for sure. There we go. Top half of the third inning. Manoah's got 1 out already. And that ERA continues to slide down and down and down as it goes. If I can come back over to my screen here instead of the TV screen. Manoah now down to a .162 ERA on the season, and look at that pitch. Oh my goodness. Manoah has got the movement going today. The team's runner in scoring position, 0 for 2 so far for the Toronto Blue Jays today. Team left on base, 2 so far. Yikes. Marwin Gonzalez at the dish here for the New York Yankees. Marwin Gonzalez back when he was the best extra man with Houston. And now we will set for a 1-1 count here, 1 out in the top half of the third inning. Gonzalez will ground it to the first baseman Biggio, and that will be yet another out there for Manoah, who is all of a sudden just on cruise control. 33 pitches into the ball game. Carpenter coming up, who's 0 for 1, and Manoah is cruising, doing exactly what he does best. And what an accomplishment it would be for Manoah to come after last night's game against the Yankees and come out and just dominate today and really send a message against the Yankees in this one that he is a guy that continues and will continue to dominate the AL East for a long time. Now .61 ERA, and this one fired in there. Strike number 1, Manoah working efficiently, attacking the zone, great movement, great effectiveness with the pitches. I'm loving every minute of watching this for sure. This is nice to watch. As they've again got the second baseman out in right field. Covering ground for the Yankees, Matt Carpenter. That is okay. We got a non-charitable call last inning to strike out Espinal. The zone seems like it's about 2 inches bigger around than it typically is in a ball game, or should be. And that Manoah will have to start hopefully using to his advantage here against the Yankees. Expand the zone, get them to swing. but also get them to look at dumb pitches that shouldn't be called strikes for strikeouts. Manoah now in an 0-2 count to Carpenter. High fastball incoming, and Carpenter yet again, similar to his first at bat, spoils the strikeout pitch, and that will reset things 0-2 with 2 outs in the top half of the third inning. And now you're going to have Manoah step back to the rubber. Get things set for this potential strikeout pitch. He's already got one this inning. He's going to throw it. Carpenter's going to absolutely rope it down the right field line, but a foot foul. He's tried that opportunity to go in against Carpenter a couple times, but Carpenter's definitely fought it off well. And now, let's see if we can't get Carpenter to roll over something on the far and away. And look at this. The entire left side of the diamond is free for Carpenter. And that will be down low. And oh, Manoah thought he had him. Manoah jumped off the mound like he had him for strike 3. The umpire doesn't make the call. Oof. Manoah thought, oh man, Manoah was right off the mound. Thought he had it there for a second. Couldn't bite it. That's all right. 1-2 count now to Carpenter. This one will be thrown in and down in the dirt, 88 mile an hour, but won't bite from Carpenter Willie. And 2-2 count, 2 outs now to Carpenter. In this top half of the third inning, Manoah looking to get out of here on pitch number 40 of the inning. Hoping to get this job done here, folks, as Manoah's had a heck of an afternoon, and now all of a sudden they're rallying up the signs from Kirk to Manoah. And this pitch will be settled in, and coming up high, ball 3. So now all of a sudden this is the wily veteran Matt Carpenter doing exactly what Matt Carpenter does and getting that job going. So here we go. 3-2 count, 2 outs to Matt Carpenter. Manoah pitch number 41, and he will set Carpenter down on the strikeout. Don't you love to see that? That was a beauty of a pitch. Power on power, and put it right by him to get the strikeout right there, folks. That's a huge get if you're Alek Manoah. All right, what do we got going here? 77 views on the stream. Not a bad go here on Saturday morning. And times 3.75. Well, my friends, that is 4.8 hours streamed so far by you folks back home. When you divide that by 1.3, that is a ratio of 3.7 times the amount of time streaming. We are rocking today. We're doing decent, that's for sure. So hopefully that continues here into the bottom half of the third inning, and then I got to get my afternoon started here at home, and then we'll be back to talk some Minnesota Twins later tonight and hopefully get things going, that's for sure. As folks, if you haven't had a chance, definitely feel free to check out one of the 2 linked videos in the chat there by me today on the Clem Hawks channel. And other than that, there's really not much to add other than, yeah, just check some stuff out. Maybe consider subscribing here to Clem Hawks and sticking around to talk all things Twins, and then occasionally celebrate the Blue Jays on a Saturday and Sunday afternoon streams. So, other than that, what do we got going on? Is there anything I need to be aware of in the background? I don't think there really is. And there really isn't. All right. That's it. That's all. Sweet. Back to the ball game here after this commercial, and away we go. Perfect. Let's get to it. Junior Jays Sundays, Father's Day tomorrow. Interesting goal, that's for sure. Lots of fun to be had for the kids at the ballpark in Toronto tomorrow. Now Tyon will come up against Biggio, who will take strike 1, and again that expanded zone is just a little bit of a problem there. Biggio batting 181 this season, 0 home runs and 6 RBIs. He'll foul off strike number 2, and all of a sudden my TV's gotten a little laggy here. That's just the old crappy small town Canada Wi-Fi there crapping the bed on me, but that's fine. We'll battle through and be okay. And Espinal there. Bichette there, now getting set to take at bats. He is third man due up this inning. The Blue Jays haven't really been able to get much going. They've had some good chances here in the top half of the first. They got the first man on via a walk. Biggio strikes out, however, and that will start the bottom half of the third inning with an out to begin this first third of the ball game, right? Obviously the first third, bottom half of the third now for the home team. And George Springer, he's the only man to reach via walk so far in this game for the Blue Jays. 12 home runs, 33 RBIs, 266 batting average, and Springer will jolt it into the first baseman and be just out by a millisecond. Tyon there just beat him to the bag on the run, and that one was a tight play at the bag for sure. Springer's going to track back to the bag by the looks of it. He thinks he's safe here. And maybe, I don't know, it looks like they're showing him going back to the bag. And now all of a sudden, yeah, that's tight, that's tight. But looks like he might have hurt his foot. Oh, he's out by an inch. Just out by an inch, and looks like maybe now an injury instead, as he just reached for the bag there on that corner and caught his toe. So now for the Jays, that goes from bad to worse right there. Not only is the man out, but he torques his foot. George Springer, obviously, yeah, he's had some leg injuries over the course of his career, and he's going to gingerly walk back to the corner of the dugout and sit down and probably say a couple of words to himself. Bichette will foul it up and out of play. So Tyon now 35 pitches in this game, and much to the advantage of him over top of Manoah so far through this first 3 innings. 0-2 count to Bichette, 259 batting average now on the season. And a guy that they pumped up to be the hero today, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. This one is going to be fired in from Tyon. 0-2 count, 2 outs, and Bo Bichette, just that wild swing enough to foul it off, thankfully. That would have been danger for the Blue Jays had he not fouled that off. You go quietly here in this bottom half of the third, and suddenly you're allowing the Yankees to start settling in the game. They're working Manoah a little bit. Yes, Manoah is dominating still, but it just is what it is. And that is 96-mile-an-hour fastball, 6 inches out of the zone, wide. I don't think Bichette's chasing that all day. 1-2 count here, 2 outs in the bottom half of the third inning, and folks, it feels like everything's coming to an end here with 85 views on the stream. However, that's ball 2 in the dirt, and now all of a sudden Bichette's putting up an at-bat. All right, here we go, time to get hot. And Teoscar Hernandez chatting it over with George Springer. Springer, I think, is just taking a moment to get himself back in it. And Bichette awaits the 2-2. Here it comes. And it will be again 95 mile an hour off the outside of the plate at the knees, not swinging. 3-2. And next guy up is Vladdy. So you know the Blue Jays would love to get Vladdy up to the dish in this inning with Bo Bichette on and potentially do something here. And Bichette's going to instead take strike 3 at the knees. The second man in the game retired to end an inning looking. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me here on Clemhawks today. Thank you so much for tuning into the live stream. It's been my pleasure to have you along all afternoon. I will be back hopefully this evening with some Minnesota Twins coverage. I've got some shrubs to move around outside. Folks, you have yourselves a great afternoon. Consider subscribing. Leave a like on the stream if you enjoyed all that good fun stuff. And I'm going to catch you up on out of here.